and welcome to another episode of Wayfaring and Wanderlust. I am currently traveling east on Highway 410 from Enumclaw through Greenwater, over the Chinook Pass towards Natchez to a little place called Little Natchez Campground. There's so much on this stretch. So many of the forestry roads kind of branch off and go into just a fantastic wealth of camping options, hiking, mountain biking, skiing a little further east. Just had to get a little bit of a second out of the car to get out and take in these breathtaking views. Mountainous kind of vistas and panoramas in every direction. It is stunning out here this time of year. By all definitions, an absolutely perfect day. So we have made our way up into the Little Natchez campground and surrounding trailheads, back off the main campground thoroughfare, and then 410 that continues east towards Yakima. There are a ton of options out here in terms of where and kind of around what you can find. And it's always that second guessing that should I settle or should I keep on going, and I generally opt to keep on going, and sometimes finding a spot can be a bit of an ordeal. I have my catalog of spots that I enjoy and frequent, but finding new ones is always, you feel like you've won the lottery. Perhaps one of these days I'll run into one of you out and about in a place such as this. There's always a vintage on board, something a little stronger, something a little nicer for those pleasant encounters or those kind of happenstance backwoods friends that you meet out in the middle of nowhere. I think I'm gonna roll the dice on this road. Let's pull off to the side here. And let's see what's waiting for us around the bend. These little things are fantastic doodads. Basically, they work like gigantic Legos. So they're just hollow parts, protruding parts. Stack them up. They come in multiple sizes. I got these because it's basically 1 cubic foot of square space. But when you arrive, it allows you to find a relatively, an almost there spot and get it to a nice level, easy spot. We're gonna get leveled out, get set up, and then cook some dinner. I'd say that just about does it. I'm gonna do a quick, simple dinner. It's basically just a tour of sausages. So we have a chicken Italian sausage, bratwurst, and English banger sausage, face rot creamery, smoky cheddar, got the fancy cheese, just some hoagie buns, and super simple, just some olive oil and hot sauce. Given that we're rapidly losing weight, which I don't mind at all, we'll get a fire going. Something to help deter the mosquitoes, maybe ever so slightly. But the bug spray is doing a pretty fantastic job. I normally don't really have too many problems with insects. Every once in a while, though, it seems like a trip out makes up for all the trips where there were no issues and you have a lot of catching up to do. But what do they eat then when they can't get Chris? So I opted to go with the solo stove because after looking around, I noticed that there's kind of a lot of standing debris in the interior of the fire pit, and then out around the outside as well, which just concerns me because there's not really a whole lot of distinction between what's in the fire pit and what's around it, and the rock wall just isn't high enough to manage any kind of errant embers. At least this way they're all in one contained area. So now that we've got a good base going, we'll start taking some of these larger pieces that are just full of knots, just riddled with tangled wood that's the consistency of cement, and we'll just start priming some of these. So once this gets down to a good bed of embers, these solo stoves do an amazing job of consistent enough heat that they just catch right away over a bed of coals. So get the rest of this dinner by firelight. I'm very excited about these sausages. Just can't remember which ones these are. Should be pretty easy to identify. This is the bratwurst and the English banger, and that will make this one the Italian sausage. Chicken Italian sausage. Wobble my fat back in the frame. Just a super informal dinner. I didn't get here nearly as early as I'd hoped, which is often the case. If I'm out driving, especially on this drive, there are way too many places that you just have to stop at just to take in the view, take some photos, what have you, but definitely a leisurely drive, not one to be rushed. So, to that end, arriving late, the priority then became getting the fridge set up. The condenser went on the fridge and it's distracting me. So the priority was getting the fire set up, getting some cooking in, just doing some light dinner, but nice, light, easy snack before relaxing by the fire, having a little bit of whiskey, getting a good night's sleep, and trying to wake up as early as possible to make one of these scenic viewpoints for some sunrise views of the massive, sweeping, panoramic tree and mountain lines around here. It's just, words, again, never do it justice. Pictures never do it justice. Video never does it justice. It comes close, but the scale and the magnitude of the views and just the expanse of it, it's hard to articulate, but it's absolutely breathtaking. But now, let's see. This is definitely the bratwurst. I already worked my way through the chicken one. Sorry, I was impatient and famished. So I wanted to get something in my stomach before I started getting grumpy.
But this is definitely the better of the two so far. Perhaps the best of the three. I hope that condenser in the fridge doesn't sound like a train going by. It's always good to do an idiot check, just to make sure you are not an idiot and you haven't left anything behind. But short of a little bit more ash in this fire pit, you're leaving it more or less as we found it.